Hello, soldiers. You are listening to the sound of victory because I am Liss Victory, and you have tuned into that broadcast. We are talking about art and activism. That's AAA for your soul, baby. Let's change the world. Today, I am chatting with Tai Chirovsky.
V is silent. Chirovsky.
Oh, there's no V?
Well, there's a V
it's in there.
But there's not like a V.
Chirovsky. Oh, nice. From Clam Jam, this 2.0 iteration.
Yes. Yeah.
Is this your first time with the
No,
Clam
I was
Jam?
one of the original clams.
Ooh, original Clam. Was that at BBT?
It was at BBT.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a fun time. It was a totally fun time.
So where did the Clam Jam come from? Where was the clam born? How did the clam come
about?
Being?
We actually, Jess Klein, Brenda Leeds, Sadie Friend, Amy, and I, like us fun
All
ladies.
original clams.
All original clams.
Dang,
and
that's a lot of clam.
we all, insert something fishy.
Oh! I gotta turn down that gain. Oh my. Oh my.
But we all met at Bones.
Bonertown, USA?
No, Hambones.
That's Bonertown, USA.
Okay. I've never heard that joke. That's actually great. I like that.
We're trying to get it to catch on. I don't know if Jeff is down, but
Jeff is probably not down.
Yeah.
But we all met at the open mic night there, and we were like, we need more like lady musicians, and we want to like do a focus group, like focusing on all of us performing together. And so we decided to like make it happen.
Hell yeah.
And then Jess like sort of like just pulled it together, and she's like, we're gonna call it Clam Jam. We're gonna have all female performers. We're gonna like make it a thing and go forth and do it. And so we did.
Jess Klein is tuned in right now. Hello, Jess. I did a full interview with her. It was before her album release. Do you remember what month her album release was?
That was late May, I think. I opened for it, so...
Late May?
Late May. It was like right before I graduated college, right after. It's the only reason I have anything in my head.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
You can find that full interview on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Liss Victory Music. That's Liss Victory, like triumph. Music, like the kind of music you listen to with your ears or your soul, whatever. And right here where you see this video, if you're watching, but you may also be listening on the stream. So facebook.com/Liss Victory Music, and I'll have that up on YouTube too, a nice clean cut edited version. It'll be beautiful. I really enjoyed my interview with Jess Klein. Another one of the clams, Brenda Leeds, I did an interview with her recently about another endeavor she has going on, and I wanted to share that with all of you listening now on the River's Edge, pgh.com. So I put together a couple of clips so I could share that with you, since I'm pretty sure Brenda has what I like to call a real job. And that's just jobs that happen between 9 and 5.
Right.
So if you work second shift or third shift, you don't have a real job to me, which is messed up because there's some pretty intense jobs that happen in that time period. And not just servers. I know a bunch of people who've worked swing shifts in factories, like the 24-hour factories, before they closed down in my hometown. I'm thinking specifically of the paper factory in my hometown, Erie, PA, where my ex-brother-in-law used to work, and he would pull like a third shift, and then the next day have to pull a first shift. Not like back to back, but you had that like 16 hours or something in between shifts.
You don't actually want to like go home. You don't have time to do anything else. So it's like
you might be able to sleep.
You might be able to sleep. You might be able to watch a Netflix show before you fall asleep. And that's about it.
Show.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't get me started about Orange is the New Black, because
no spoilers. I haven't
really taking up my time. So what I'm going to try to do for you folks is segue into an interview I had with Brenda Leeds talking about a fundraising show she has coming up at the BBT on August 18th. That's this August 18th. and I'm still working with segues and things like that. So we're going to give that a try. It's going to work. We're just going to see how smoothly it's going to work. And then you're going to come back with Ty and I live. Please feel free, if you are tuned in on Facebook, to chat with us. Rachel Gamble tuned in. Hey, Rachel. I hope we see you at the Clam Jam. It's great to see you tuning in right now. Or read you tuning in. Yeah, it's seeing. I see the words. I see the words. So I'm going to bring up Brenda's video and share that with you. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back at you.
So I am here today to talk about Old Game, which is a music group I'm a part of in Pittsburgh, and also Ramming Speed Pictures, which is a film group I'm a part of in Pittsburgh, and an exciting fundraiser that we're having next month.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that you were a part of Ramming Speed.
Yes, so I am technically the assistant director of Ramming
wow.
Speed. Yeah.
Holy crap. I had no idea. Mm-hmm. As I was like doing the research and reading the event and everything, I thought, I feel like this is going to require some kind of follow-up interview with the Ramming Speed people because I'm talking to one of the bands.
Yep.
But what about the people who are Ramming Speed Productions? Mm-hmm. So can you tell me a little bit about... That's a really interesting name. And I can't help but get focused on the sexual connotations because I have the brain of a 13-year-old boy. It's a curse.
It's okay. Speaking of... So we are making a film in June 2018 called American Curse. And the fundraiser in August is going to be raising money to make that film. I'd definitely say it's a political film. It has a lot of political undertones. So I'm really excited to be a part of it. This is probably the most active way I've been like in art, getting involved in politics. So
the film itself?
Yeah. Being involved in this film.
I know that films take even more effort than I know now. Yeah. Because before it was like, oh, this director made this film, so that director did it. Mm-hmm. That is so false. There's a reason why there's so many names at the end of a film. But you have a whole year in advance, and I say a whole year, but I don't even know if that's a lot of time.
It's not enough time, but we're going to make it happen. That's why we're called Ramming Speed. Full speed ahead. We never have enough time, but we always get it done.
So can you tell me a little bit about the film itself?
Yeah, so the film itself...
no spoilers.
No spoilers. It has 3 different genres that it hits on. There's elements of noir, there's elements of Cold War drama, there is sci-fi elements in it, and it takes place in the 60s when there's a lot of civil unrest, mimicking a lot of what is happening today. So that's what kind of inspired the writer, who's also the director and my partner, to write this movie.
So you have a screenplay altogether, and that exists?
It's written, obviously, like, it's not fully complete. Like, there are drafts upon drafts, but
Dang.
Yeah, it's done. There's actors. The film crew is ready. Like, we are doing stuff every week, and we will be working every week until next June. Like, there's always stuff to do, and it's really insane. Yeah.
So is the show how your band fits in with your work in the production company, or are there more things that you're doing with the band and the production company?
So Ramming Speed is actually the company that did Old Game's first official music video.
Oh, cool.
Which was essentially a short film because it took a lot of prep, like 6 months of prep, and an entire weekend of shooting in the woods.
Wow.
Yeah, so they like gave us this gift of a music video. Like, we paid for it together, but you should pay just them. So that's a huge gift. And my partner are very much involved in each other's projects. So of course Old Game is going to play their fundraiser show and like get their friends' bands and like help make money for this movie that I'm also a part of. So yeah, it works hand in hand. It sounds like there are certain things that you've experienced, and I mean, we've all seen them, but like certain things in pop music today or whatever genre that are sexualizing women that can be really uncomfortable. And And I think it's really important to open up the conversation with other women and, you know, figure out where your boundaries are and how you're going to behave with yourself on stage. Like, that's something sometimes I get paranoid that I think about it way more than my male counterparts do on stage. Like, I am always thinking about, like, how am I going to present myself that night? I have an image to present. What am I going to say on stage? And it's not in, like, a obsessive way, but I do consider it before each show. Like, who am I tonight? How am I going to be up there? And I am, like, representing the women of Pittsburgh. I very much want to represent the women of Pittsburgh in a positive light. So I'm thinking about that. And I think about my hair and my nails because the other girls do too. Like, I like it, you know? Like, this is this power that comes with that. And I feel very connected to the women here. And that makes me feel, like, safe to express myself on stage. But I look to all of you to figure out, like, okay, what are we doing here? You know? What are we trying to make in Pittsburgh? So
I think we have a special community too. Like the women musicians in this community. Like we talk to one another, we try to plan things together. We all more or less seem to, like, get along to some degree. I don't know of a whole lot of, like, real big vendettas in the scene between women and stuff. I've definitely met catty performers, like, that happens. But I do the same thing where I think of myself as a representative. And I feel like I had a theory about this in an overarching way that wasn't necessarily just related to being a representative of women or a representative of women in the scene. But what I do know is that I run into my male counterparts all the time, and they will tell me things like, I haven't showered all week or slept in 3 days. And they're still out there, up on stage, looking super hot.
Yeah, and it's okay.
And smelling good.
Yeah,
smelling good.
Yep.
Because that's how I get some of those answers sometimes, like, going for the hug, like, oh, man, you smell really good. Like, I haven't showered in 4 days. And I'm like, I showered before I came here today. Because I wanted to smell nice.
It doesn't matter.
How much time? That's like upwards of 4 hours of time that you saved by not showering or changing your clothes for all those 4 days. And it's like, I could really use that time. How can people get involved with American Curse? Because I saw something about that in the event.
So American Curse, we're probably going to have a few different events throughout the year. So please like the Ramming Speed Pictures page on Facebook. We're going to post all of the updates on there. We're doing our very best to raise our own money for this film and not do a crowdfunding, which is insane. So if we do Kickstarters and not Kickstarters, but fundraisers in other ways, come out. I'm excited about this one because we are literally going to have gift cards, baskets, items from every place you've ever eaten or been in Lawrenceville, Bloomfield, Shadyside. Like, every favorite place you've been to has given us stuff. Thank you.
Rad.
I'm glad they have. I don't know why they all said yes, but they did. We, our executive producer, Joe Nealis, he went on foot throughout all the places, and he told them what we're doing, and they gave us a lot of really cool things. So please come to the fundraiser and put your little tickets in the basket, because you're going to win something really cool that's worth there's good money in these raffles. So please come. I'm excited about it.
Tired of winning.
I know. You will be tired of winning.
Oh God.
So come, please. Come. August, what is it? August 18th. Yeah.
Are there still volunteer opportunities, acting opportunities, anything of that sort?
Oh, yes. Okay. It's Friday, August 18th at the Bloomfield Bridge Tavern. We are going to be looking for actors and actresses. The auditions will probably be in the next few months here, like before the year ends. Yeah, so if that is something you're interested, please like our page, because we're going to be posting things, and some of our lead roles are open. So,
oh, wow.
If that's something you're really interested in, please hit us up.
You're getting in on the ground floor.
Yeah, if you
show up to the event,
that's a great way.
You can actually talk to her in person.
And I'm a big part of auditions, so please come talk to me.
Boom! Oh my God!
You need to make like.
Hey guys, we're live again. Jim tuned in. Hey Jim, how you doing?
Hope you make to my brother
to the Clam Jam.
Who's not gonna be there, but hi Anton.
Tuned in now. Yeah, that broadcast. My hair is too fluffy on one side. What is going on? We were talking a little bit about hair and makeup with Brenda in the clip, and I was talking about how Jeremy was one of the guys, actually, who I hugged, and I was like, you smell so good. And he said, oh, well, I haven't even showered or slept in like 10 years. No, it was a couple days, though. That man is insane. But while the clip was playing, Ty and I were having some conversation about women in the scene, and I turned her on to a Facebook group called Pittsburgh Women's Musicians.
So excited.
Because I tend to, for some reason, share that broadcast in the women's musicians group.
You totally should.
I really
that's a
like
good
the group and the people who are in it. It doesn't seem to, in my experience, get like, it's not flooded with stuff. People don't really get catty or attack each other or anything.
And it's like constructive but not angry. I was looking through some of their posts.
Yeah,
and it's like,
there's definitely constructive
hey,
stuff.
like, let's talk about this issue or this thing, but like, not we're gonna have a hate fest and trash something. Which
there are other groups for hate fests.
Yeah.
If you want lady-related hate fest, please do it somewhere else. I'm not an admin of this group.
Yeah,
I'm just a fan of it, and I don't want it to devolve into yet another Facebook hate fest.
Everyone's gonna join it now just to
Great.
do that because you said it. Just because you said it.
Oh, good Lord. Well, you have tuned into that broadcast, and we are live again right now in the flesh person. I am Liss Victory, joined by Tai Chirovsky.
We're gonna get it right by the end of this.
Yes, that is the goal. And we're gonna be playing Clam Jam together. Maybe not at the same time, like on stage together, but maybe.
Maybe. I always do. Actually, the song that I'm gonna be playing today, I always invite whoever like knows it, that's part of the Clams, to just come up and sing it with me. So like, you're already gonna be on stage with me.
I love that kind of stuff. We do that with the girly show, and Jenny Morgan, she's one of the founders. Oh yeah, I love her. She was like, we should learn some of each other's songs and do some stuff together. And I was real hesitant because my free time is like this.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I feel that.
Usually we just kind of like pick it up as we go. And I'm not a big fan of learning music. I like to learn techniques or chords or progressions, but I try not to focus too much on, I guess, learning other people's songs.
Right. So I'm a big harmonist, so for me it's
suck at that.
Oh, let's hang out. We'll
Please,
You'll
help.
have to pick it up.
I need it.
We can do it. But the big thing, like, I love going to open mic nights and stuff just to practice that. Like, and I pick.
That's a very good point.
In my car, my brother can actually attest to this. I have a giant box, and that box is filled with a bunch of CDs. Just like stacks on stacks. Like, I have one of those like 180 like CD holder things that that are for blank CDs. Like, I took one of those and I recycled it, and I have it full of CDs and other CDs, and I have a whole like Pittsburgh local artist section of it. So like, I will just take those like CDs out and pop them in my and I used to live in Ohio, so I used to do the 2-hour drive back and forth. And so I would just like have a lineup of CDs and just pop them in and take them out and listen and harmonize to all these people's music. And that was how I practiced. Like, I wasn't allowed to sing the main part. If you do long road trips, which I know you do.
Yeah. I got one coming up today.
You just put a CD in and you're not allowed to sing the main part. You have to make something up.
I've kind of tried to do that, but it's so hard not to meet the melody and to find the harmony wherever it's at. I try to go low or high, but my vocal cords like pool to just meet and be doing the same thing as the person singing. It's really weird. Or even with whatever tone is happening, I always like do the same tone.
I think there's a way you
could
mess with that to like make it that way. Like, maybe that's your harmony, though. Maybe you need to be that person who does the thing and like does the middle harmony. Like I if you look, my SoundCloud has a lot of like drones in it, because that's the middle harmony, is that one single note that's underneath the melody line.
What's your SoundCloud URL?
Tobias and Tai, back from when I was a wee small little musician.
A wee musician.
A wee musician. I used to play ukulele predominantly, and my ukulele's name was Tobias.
Aww.
And so Tobias and Tai, and I've since switched over like my Facebook URL and my Instagram panhandle and like all of that to be like Tai Chirovsky, even though I'm struggling with people with the whole like name thing.
I struggle too.
It's good now. I've accepted it, but I have not switched over my SoundCloud because I don't know how, and I'm not about like figuring that out just yet, because SoundCloud's actually more for like me to put my music up there for me to listen to. Like, oh, I need to work on this harmony. I'm gonna put this on, and like, you know, or it's 2 a.m. and I want to play harmonies and I want like someone to listen to it. So here, universe, this is really for me though.
I kind of use SoundCloud for the same thing. It's got my weird stuff on it.
Right.
So my polished stuff is on my Bandcamp. This is all under Liss Victory, because there is one lady on Facebook who has my name, who hasn't used her account since 2012. And I'm like, Facebook, yo, let me get that URL.
Let me get that URL.
And they just keep knocking me down. So I'm like, okay, I see how this is. I just need to get famous, trademark that shit, and then demand the URL, and they won't be able to say no to me. So this is my whole goal.
Yeah, that's your vendetta. That's why we have
fame.
the podcast, is to get you famous.
So that I can get the goddamn Facebook URL.
Yeah.
Because right now it's Liss Victory Music. And then...
I've never had that issue, but I've never met another Tai Chirovsky, or... so my full name's Thaisa. I've never met anyone who has those two names together in my life.
Nice.
So that's okay.
Well, I haven't met this broad. She's just supposedly out in Utah. Doesn't even have a real picture. It's just like some...
Is it like...
avatars? Like, do you remember what avatars were?
Yeah.
And I don't mean like cool new avatars that look neat, but like pixel avatars where you can build it pixel by pixel. I used to do this when I was a kid. And I'd be in like Palace chat, if anyone remembers that, because this was well over 15 years ago. Well, I don't know if it's well over 15 years ago. I met my Canadian boyfriend in there, who I actually might see sometime soon. Ex-boyfriend now. Now I'm dating a guy from India. So I like my diversity. So yeah, I got a gig up in Montreal in Canada with my buddy Dory Cameron, fantastic female musician as well. And I think we're going to do some dates together around the East Coast. She lives in Boston, and I have a Boston gig with my Indian comedian boyfriend in a basement in Boston. I'm sure we won't be kidnapped and locked up down there. It'll be fine.
Do you want to borrow my taser?
I wanted the pregnant pause. That's why I paused.
Just
No,
wait.
it's house show stuff. So if you're not familiar with this concept, it seems like, or it is, that some of our music scene has gone underground. And some of the best shows are underground. I don't just mean basements, but house shows.
Yeah.
Have you done many house shows?
I've done like 2 house shows, and I'd like to get into them more. And I've actually been talking about to some other musicians about doing things that are like planning to attend events and like creating a sort of like exclusivity around that, because that's kind of the appeal of the house show, is that it's a small group of people who get to go to this cool space, who get to participate in this cool event. And like So Far Sounds, which I found when I was like 14 when they first like opened, because I was super into YouTube then. It was so bad.
I love YouTube.
I had a problem with that back then, but like I loved that they did like these all acoustic sets. And like I remember back in the day I was really into Bastille, like before they became like super famous
Before they were cool.
Before they were cool. I was super cool about that. But the beauty of it was that they did this really incredible song, but they did it a stripped down set. And so it sounds nothing like what they sound like live now. Because they had none of the synthesizers, none of the equipment. It was a guitar and like a drum with a little tambourine. That was it. Yeah. And like them singing. And there's something, and one of my favorite musicians, who's actually the reason I bought a ukulele, she exclusively does house shows. Julia Nunes.
I know that name.
She's a ukulelist. She's amazing. And for her, it's wonderful because then like she talks about, you get this room full of people and they know your songs because they actually care about you as a musician, and they'll like learn the harmonies, they'll sing with you, they'll clap, they'll participate, which for me is like the best performance that I can have is like when I do a song and the audience participates in that song and you can tell they feel it. And that euphoria is better than anything that you could experience in life, is that moment when you know that your audience not only just gets the song, but gets you as an artist and buys into that and says like, yes, I approve and value this. And that was a long rant. I don't remember where I was going with
No, it's beautiful. And I feel like it's that value that's placed when you're in a home, as opposed to
in a venue,
playing in the corner of a bar
right,
while the sports game is on, right? Yeah. And you're like competing with the sports game or whatever is on TV at the time. I can't stand it when I'm in a venue and there's like a venue.
And I can watch it.
Like tons of screens around. Mm-hmm. What's cool is when you can break through the barrier and people start to care about you somehow more than the screens.
I did an open mic night in Kent, Ohio. Cool town. Great. They actually have a really decent music scene. And they're a really cool place. It was 20 minutes from my college. And we did this, so I went to this open mic night and it was just me and a friend. And I totally went just because I was missing playing music. And I had to compete with one of the Trump speeches.
Oh my god. I feel like that'd be fun, honestly, in a horrifying way.
In a horrifying way in a state that's very much pro-Trump.
Was it red
yeah,
state?
A red state.
They went red, right?
They did. And it was
Didn't
funny.
we go red too? Did we?
I don't
like the whole state?
I don't remember.
Oh, I blocked it out. It was traumatic. It's fine. If you want to comment and remind me, it's cool. I'll be okay. I'll take some anti-anxiety medication. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Just
I can handle it. Just comment. I'll deal with it.
So I was at this bar playing, and the thing is that no one showed up either. Like, it was a really poorly attended open mic night, which was totally okay. It was actually kind of awesome because I got to do like a 20-minute set.
Nice.
Which never happens. Mm-hmm. Or happens really rarely in the Pittsburgh music scene. So it was really great to have that space. But here I am competing with Donald Trump.
I love it when you put it that way.
Right,
it sounds even better.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna win. And it was great because I had a line of like stereotypically white male,
heteronormative.
Heteronormative, like,
hypermasculine.
Yeah, and they're all like sitting at the bar, and then
words.
There's like 3 like hipster dudes, and all of them are watching the screen, and I'm like, my goal by the end of tonight is to get those guys to like turn around and face me.
Yeah.
By the end of the 20 minutes, I'd actually succeeded with like 80% of them. Like,
Sweet.
There were 2 of them that were still watching the TV, but the rest of them had turned and like faced me, and I was like, yes. Yes.
My plan worked.
And I was super excited. And then like afterwards, whenever I perform, I try and make it a habit to like go and talk to someone.
Smart. Take
like,
notes.
Whoever engages you the most, like. You go and you find that person and you introduce yourself to them and be like, hey, I noticed that you were like listening, you were engaged, like, what's your name? Are you a musician? Talk to me. And so I went over and I talked to them, and they were sitting there and they're like, we're watching this because we actually hate Trump. And we want, and it was great to like listen to music that gave us faith in the world again. And it was like, oh,
that's amazing.
My heart, be still my heart. That's always a great experience to have. And the last, like, I did like a dinner spot at Industry in Robinson.
Classy.
A while ago, and there was this family. This is another like cool audience thing. This family stopped in for dinner, and their little girl, who's like 8 or 9, like is watching me the whole time through dinner.
Oh,
and I was like,
"Oh, that's amazing! I love that too."
Right? No, and
the kids are the best.
The kids are the best.
Some of the best.
And they like look at you, and they're actually a really great experience at Lady Fest with this too. But so this little girl at Industry is looking at me, and I finished playing like my hour-long set, and I've been making buttons for my 2313 EP release, which is on Bandcamp under Tobias and Tai. But so I took a bunch of the buttons for like her and like her 4 brothers or something, and I was like, walked over to the parents and was like, I have my child certification, so like I'm safe to be around your kid. Do you mind if I give them buttons? I didn't say it like that, and I was talking to her, and she's like a violinist, and she just got her first ukulele, and she's like, I love your music, and you're so awesome, and like, do you like play out all the time? I was like, so excited. I get a huge kick about like little kids who are excited about music because they see someone who seems accessible. Mm-hmm. Like, I am not like Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I am someone who's like much like smaller fish, but they see me and they're still like, I'm gonna be her.
Yeah. And I feel that with younger ladies too.
Right.
So if I'm able to perform, or even just to sort of walking around because I have a unique look.
Yes.
And when these young ladies will like look at me or watch me perform, I'm like, yes, guess what? You can do this.
Yeah.
You can totally do this. If you're listening right now, if you're watching the live stream, I will tell you all, regardless of what your gender is, you can do this. If you put enough effort into repetitively speaking in public, playing in public, making appearances, making your own videos. Andy Dick came, this is a great name in comedy, Andy Dick, came to my university, and this is back when it was first, they had cameras on cell phones, like flip phones. Right. And he's like, you can make a video with your phone now. And I'm thinking, sure, Andy Dick. You silly, silly human. No, that dude, you can. It was kind of crappy quality with the flip phone, but I mean, I was just working on a video with my friends from the Brookline Community Open Mic last night. Now with my phone, much better technology. Probably
much better
10
camera,
years later.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you do and pursue, I like that. I'm gonna write that down. You can accomplish your dreams.
Yeah, I had a similar experience at not to backtrack, but like at Lady Fest, I did the morning slot at Hambone's, and it was one of the like children accessible. By the way, Lady Fest Pittsburgh is awesome.
Sure.
Shout out to that. That was actually like probably one of the best experiences I've had with the female Pittsburgh music scene.
Nice.
In a really long time, and it was totally a wonderful experience to be involved in that. And it's funny because I couldn't even like, I didn't stay for a super long time. I had like a bunch of other things that exploded in my face that weekend, but like the interactions I had with the people who ran the event were so incredible that like I came off stage like remembering what I was really meant to do, like remembering and feeling validated in all of that, which was absolutely amazing. But this little kid, like this, I mean, not little, he was like almost a teenager, and he comes up to me and asks me after my set how I got over stage fright. And I was like, you find that one person, like for the first like 4 or 5 years that I performed, my mom was the only, like she came to everything I did. She came to every open mic night. She sat there, and I got to sing all my songs to my mom. And that's still like one of the most like special experiences for me, is like when my mom comes to my shows, I'm like, guys, my mom's here. because I love that she's been the biggest support for me. And so this kid comes up to me and he asks me, and I was like, my mom is the person that I always sing for. Like, if I can't find anyone in the room, I pretend that my mom's there. And he is like, my mom's actually here, and I'll do that next time.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, changing America. And I told him about Hambones has a family-friendly open stage every Saturday night, and acoustic brunch on Sunday mornings is also family-friendly. And I told him about that, and I was like, you know, you should come to the Saturday night ones, and I will make a conscious effort to go. Which I still haven't made it because I keep working Saturdays, but I will make it one of these days. And his mom comes up to me and goes, thank you so much for talking to my son. He's been too scared to perform. And I would almost burst into tears. Like, that's what it's all about. That's what being a musician is. And that's like, I want to play for that for the rest of my life. Like, I don't care if I never get famous. I care about meeting all those kids and like having that interaction with them and their parents, and like having those kids believe that they can genuinely contribute to an art scene and keep civilization alive.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah. That's totally, yeah. Because that's why I'm still alive.
Right.
Because of the artists who affected me.
Yeah. And I think that that's an important thing that's not being, I don't know, like, I get so easily caught up in this, like, this scene's too hard, and there's all this drama, and I don't want to be a part of that, and I don't want to, like, talk about this, and I don't want everyone in my private life, and then that happens, and I'm like, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm an artist, and, like, I started writing music because I had a bunch of deaths happen in my life when I was really, like, early teen years. And I didn't know how to cope with it. So I started writing music because I wanted that experience. And now that's the thing that kept me alive. And so for now, that's, like, I want to give that to somebody else. And I want them to be able to, like, message me on Facebook. Because I did that to more than one artist. Where I was like, hey, this song changed my life. Can you send me the chords? So I can actually play it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there's this really incredible band called St. Paul Devants in Seattle. And I emailed them. And I was like, you have this song, and it's called When Our Boys Have Been Buried. And, like, can you send me the chords for it? And I will post a video of me playing it, which is still on YouTube. And I'm on a roof. And my mom was not happy about that. But having, like, and they emailed me back and gave me the chords, and I actually, like, they apparently sent me a message a couple, like, months afterwards, and they were like, if we're ever in Pittsburgh, we'd love for you to open for us.
Wow.
They still haven't made it to Pittsburgh. I also didn't see it for 2 years. So, hey, guys, I really want to still open for you.
That's really cool.
Right? And that kind of, like, they're now a much bigger band. They, like, actually tour. They actually play big venues and events now. And
all the more reason to get that opening slot.
Right. Well, yeah, kind of. But at the same time, like, thank you to them for still being the kind of musicians who, when they were small, responded to their emails, even from, like, the little fish and, like, the little person playing ukulele in their bedroom, enough to, like, states away to say, like, yes, like, do this. Like, go be an artist, go play this song, go learn this, go be a part of it, we will support that. Like, that's, I think, like, a role that is really important for musicians to play, is to realize that they're supposed to support the newcomers, the new community, to give, like, it's not a competition, it's passing the baton on.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Like, it's not about, like, I don't have to compete with you. It's why the female music scene here is really great, I think, because we are really good at, like, saying, like, I don't play the same music as you, but, like, I'm going to go to your shows. I'm going to support you. You're going to support me. We're going to do this thing where we all share space. And it's okay. Like, all of that is okay and valuable, and we need to support that. And, like, if someone new comes on the scene, like, there was, like, I think she's like 17. This girl opened for Jess Klein's album release show in front of me, has the most incredible voice, like perfect timbre, perfect tone, is absolutely amazing. And she, like, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, I gotta follow you.
Been there.
Why do I have to follow you of all people? And then I'm still like, and I'm kind of talking to myself before I go on stage. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, she's gonna be the next like person who occupies space with me, and I'd rather support her and have it be inclusive and be something that we both take care of, and we both acknowledge, like, you're talented, I love you, you have this amazing gift, and we're going to make this be a much more beautiful scene because you exist in it. Right?
Do you remember her name?
I don't. Jess Klein. I don't know if you're still watching,
comment.
but you need to...
Keith Jackson loves your enthusiasm. Well, I don't know,
Keith.
maybe both of our enthusiasms.
Maybe both of our enthusiasm. We'll
you
just
seem
say
really
thank you.
enthusiastic. You're
I'm
saying
really
so
passionate
many
about this thing.
fantastic quotes.
Right.
Like, I'm logging it. I'm like, okay, go into the video at around 45 to 50 minutes, and take that quote and that quote. Because when I post things on YouTube, what I've begun to do is make a title credit with like a neat little phrase we're saying on it. Like when Brenda's goes on YouTube, I want to put ramming speed, full speed ahead. Because Ramming
that.
Speed Productions
Right.
is the company producing the movie American Curse.
Right.
So yours, just in some of the sentences you've just said, I'm like, oh, pull quotes.
Pull quotes.
Because I am a journalist by trade. I was telling her earlier when she said, oh, you got my name right. And then as I was typing it in like the same 1 minute period, botched it.
That's
like,
okay.
Left out a letter, put 2 letters in the wrong place. She jinxed me. She jinxed me with her kindness. But yeah, I really admire everything that you're saying about the scene. I feel very similarly about a lot of things. And part of this show is to encourage people to get out there themselves. And you don't need to be a musician. You can just go to the events and enjoy yourself, and simply by being there, by occupying space.
Right, and
by
talking to us.
watching, hanging out, or not.
Right.
One of my favorite audience stories, and this is why I do have anxiety, believe it or not. It's gotten a lot better over the years with practice.
Yeah.
But I try to talk to as many people in the audience as possible, and the fewer people there are, kind of the easier it is.
Yeah, because then you don't focus on getting everyone. Mm-hmm. You just, there's only 5 people here. That's great.
Well, there was a friend of mine now for a couple years was sitting in the back. His name's Gerald. And I noticed that he was sitting there alone, not really chatting, not really engaged. And I went up to him, and because I make buttons, they're pretty cheap for me, so I'll give them out for free a lot. And I went up to him, and I gave him a button, and I was like, hey, man, it's cool that you're here at the show. It was at Hambone's.
Thank you. Yeah.
Here's a button if you would like it. And he went on to become one of my biggest contributors to my Kickstarter when I launched that in 2015. He built me a pedal board. That I just started using with my Gerald. With my band Victory at the Crossroads. And yeah, he's been one of my biggest supporters.
That's incredible.
And he was just at my most recent Victory at the Crossroads show at Smalls.
Right.
Just coming out and supporting. And I always try to give him stuff. Yeah. Like, here, you don't have this button yet. Take this.
Right.
And he's so supportive and he's so cool. And I had no idea who he was. You know, he was just somebody who seemed like they were keeping to themselves in the back of the bar. And all I did was make that really small effort. And sometimes it's the quietest people that you make the smallest effort with that you think won't come to anything who can become, one of your biggest supporters.
Right. When I first, so back when I was Tobias and Tai, when I was 18, my uncle and my grandmother had just died within like a 5-month period, and it was really hard for me. And so my brother actually, who had recording software, recorded this EP for me. And it's wonderful, and I'll eventually comment with links and stuff.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, it's free. Please don't pay for it. Please.
What? No.
I know. No,
No.
because I wanna do other stuff. Okay, pay for it if you want. Let's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeez, donations accepted.
Donations. Okay, anyway, so I remember doing this, and like it was a purely therapeutic process for me, and I released it in February of 2013, right before I graduated high school, and my high school, who I'd never been popular at high school, like I was bullied all through like middle school to college, and a bunch of people in my high school found out that I had released this EP, which I had purposefully kept private from them because I didn't know how I felt about letting them in my personal life so closely, just for them to make fun of me.
In suspense now.
I had people coming up to me from like class, like I had freshmen. I was a senior. Like I didn't really talk to freshmen, like because I had no reason to. I had freshmen and sophomores and juniors in classes and places I had never, like, I didn't even know they went to my school. And they would, like, find my locker and, like, put Post-it notes, like, hey, I listened to your album, thank you so much. Like, or come up to me after class and be like, hey, you don't know who I am, but, like, a friend of mine showed me your CD, and, like, you're amazing, and thanks for writing this song, this line, like,
wow.
It was incredible. And I was like, I've never, like, people always surprise you in the amount of love they're capable of showing if you just give them the opportunity. And that's scary. It's so scary. But as an artist, I think that's, like, something that we're supposed to do. It's, like, be vulnerable and, like, crack open our hearts and, like, let you make fun of us a little bit, because we're kind of dorky. I realized that every musician I know is actually kind of socially awkward, and that's great, because then I'm no longer intimidated by them quite so much. Like, sometimes I look, like, I used to know, like, when I first started playing when I was 16 at Cannon Coffee, I knew, like, Andre Costello and like Jeremy Kaywood and like all these people and Chet Vincent used to come to Cannon Coffee, and I knew them before they had like put out records, and then I would like come up to them after knowing them from like all this period, and they'd be like, hi Tai, and try and hug me, and I'd be like, no. I'm scared of you, no. And then a friend of mine actually came up to me and was like, you realize they're all just, like, big dorks. Like, they're all socially awkward, and they're all weird.
Oh, man, you're calling out the heavy hitters in the scene right now.
Right, well, but the thing is that I actually
think... You hear that, Chet?
I'm sorry, Chet. I'm sorry. I don't actually think that. But then, like, every time I see Chet, like, and I get that little, like, that part of me that's like, oh my gosh, this person's, like, way bigger than I am. Oh, and, like, I try and, like, condense myself because I don't want to fangirl too hard.
I fangirl like a motherfucker every time I see Chet Vincent.
Right, well, and that's the thing. But there's, like, the fangirling where you just, like, stare at them and you're silent and you're like...
Okay, maybe it's not that weird.
And, like, you just,
heavy breathing.
You're scared to, like, talk to them. And so instead of doing that, I'm like... You have as much social anxiety in this situation as I do. Hi, Chet! And, like... It gets me over that curve.
It does help. Yeah, it does help to know
like,
that, the people that we look up to tend to struggle with the same things that we do.
Right. And then I'm able to, I also, Molly Alphabet is amazing.
Oh my god, I love Molly. I'm so sorry about this if they don't like this label, but I swear they're the king and queen of Lawrenceville, man.
They are.
At least the king and queen of the Lawrenceville rock scene, but I mean...
They were at Hambone because Chet was hosting.
I love them.
Yeah, you were there. Chet was hosting.
Yeah, this was Tuesday.
Oh, and like... So Molly heard me play at Ladyfest, and she like comes up to me. She's like, "You have a great voice, and I love hearing your songs. And I've never heard you before, but this is awesome." And I'm like,
right?
Sweet. It's like I've been accepted by the king and queen. Yeah.
I am a member of the court.
Yeah. Even if it's like court jester, I'll settle for court jester. I like court jester.
I feel like it's a good time to mention that one of our sponsors is Hambone's Pub. And we do have the show at Hambone's Pub this Friday, August 4th. Yeah, that'll be August 4th. That's tomorrow. That is tomorrow, folks. Big thank you to Jeff Holt, I don't want to mess up his name.